What if the biggest parenting argument in your home is not really about who is right or wrong, but about two different kinds of love fighting to protect the same child? One parent says, "Let the child learn. Life will not be soft forever." The other parent says, "No, protect them. They are still young." One parent believes discipline builds character. The other believes emotional support builds confidence. One says, "Stop crying." The other says, "Tell me how you feel." One pushes the child into the world. The other pulls the child closer. And this is where many families begin to ask the question, when it comes to parenting, who is actually right, dad or mom? For years, people have treated dad parenting and mom parenting like two opposite teams. Dad is seen as the strict one, the provider, the rule maker, the one who teaches toughness. Mom is seen as the nurturer, the comforter, the emotional safe place, the one who notices what everyone else misses. So today, we are going to break down the real difference between dad parenting and mom parenting, why both can be right, where both can go wrong, and what children actually need to become emotionally strong, respectful, confident, and secure. The deeper truth is that children do not just need softness, they do not just need discipline either. They need guidance, warmth, structure, emotional connection, boundaries, protection, and freedom to grow. And when one side is missing, children can feel it. Let's start with dad parenting. In many homes, fathers tend to focus on preparation. A father may look at his child and think, "The world is not easy. I have to make this child strong enough to handle it." That is why many dads push responsibility, courage, correction, and consequences early. A child falls down and dad may say, "Get up, you're fine." A child wants to quit, and dad may say, "No, finish what you started." A child makes a mistake and dad may say, "Now you must face the result." To some people this sounds harsh, but it can be powerful. Dad parenting can teach resilience. It can teach children that failure is not the end. It can help a child develop courage, discipline, self-control, and the ability to keep going when life becomes difficult. But here is where dad parenting can become harmful. When strength is taught without emotional safety, children do not become strong. They become silent. There is a difference between teaching resilience and teaching a child to hide pain. When a child hears "stop crying" too often, the child may not stop hurting, they may only stop expressing it. When fear is mocked, sadness is dismissed, and vulnerability is treated like weakness, the child learns that emotions are dangerous. That child may grow into an adult who looks confident but feels lonely inside. They may struggle to ask for help, avoid deep conversations, or become successful and responsible, yet emotionally distant. So dad parenting is valuable, but it must never become emotional neglect disguised as toughness. Now let's talk about mom parenting. Mothers tend to focus on connection. A mother may think this child needs to feel safe, loved, understood, and protected. That is why many moms notice emotional changes. They sense when a child is quiet, they ask questions, they comfort before correcting. A child cries and mom may say, "Come here, tell me what happened." A child is scared and mom may say, "It's okay, I'm with you." A child makes a mistake and mom may say, "You did wrong, but you are not a bad person." This kind of parenting is also powerful. Mom parenting can build emotional intelligence. It teaches children how to name their feelings, trust their voice, show empathy, and understand that love is not something they earn by being perfect. So, mom is not wrong for wanting a child to feel loved, but mom parenting can also become harmful when protection turns into overprotection. When a parent rescues a child from every hard situation, the child may never learn how to handle pressure. When comfort replaces correction every time, the child may struggle with accountability. When a child is never allowed to face consequences, they may grow up believing the world should always adjust to them. Love without limits can create entitlement. Protection without preparation can create fear. Comfort without discipline can create weakness. A child who is protected from every disappointment may fall apart when they face rejection. A child who never hears no may struggle with respect. A child who avoids every difficult thing may become an adult who quits when life becomes uncomfortable. So mom parenting is valuable, but it must never become overprotection disguised as love. The question is not really, who is right, dad or mom? The better question is, what does the child need right now? Sometimes the child needs comfort. Sometimes the child needs correction. Sometimes the child needs a hug. Sometimes the child needs a consequence. Sometimes the child needs protection. Sometimes the child needs to be allowed to struggle and learn. The healthiest parenting is not dad versus mom. It is structure and nurture working together. Structure says, there are rules. Nurture says, you are loved. Structure says, your actions have consequences. Nurture says, your mistakes do not define you. Structure says, you must learn responsibility. Nurture says, you do not have to face life alone. When a child gets only structure without nurture, they may obey, but they may not feel emotionally close. They may become disciplined, but afraid to open up. They may respect authority, but struggle with intimacy. When a child gets only nurture without structure, they may feel loved, but not prepared. They may express emotions, but struggle with self-control. They may know they matter, but not know how to respect boundaries. Balanced parenting says, I love you enough to comfort you and I love you enough to correct you. The problem in many families is that parents turn their differences into war. Dad thinks mom is too soft. Mom thinks dad is too harsh. Dad thinks he is building character. Mom thinks he is protecting the child's heart. Mom thinks she is showing love. Dad thinks she is spoiling the child. When parents constantly contradict each other, children learn to choose sides. Some children learn to manipulate the softer parent. Others fear the stricter parent. Some shut down because home feels emotionally unstable. That is why parents must learn to disagree privately and lead publicly. Children do not need identical parents, but they do need united parents. A father can learn tenderness without losing authority. A mother can set firm boundaries without losing warmth. Dad can say, I love you, and still discipline. Mom can say no and still be nurturing. Real parenting is not about gender. Some mothers are strict, some fathers are gentle, some dads are emotionally available, some moms are more firm and practical. It is about understanding that every child needs two forces, love and limits. Love tells the child, you are safe. Limits tell the child, you are responsible. Love builds confidence. Limits build character. Love helps a child feel valued. Limits help a child become dependable. When both are present, children grow with balance. They become kind but not weak, confident but not arrogant, independent but not disconnected, disciplined but not emotionally cold, loved but not entitled. So dad versus mom parenting, who is actually right? The parent who listens is right. The parent who corrects with love is right. The parent who protects without controlling is right. The parent who disciplines without humiliating is right. The parent who prepares the child for the world without making home feel unsafe is right. Sometimes that will be dad, sometimes that will be mom, and sometimes both parents will need to learn from each other. At the end of the day, children do not need perfect parents. They need present parents. They need parents who can apologize and grow. So instead of asking, is dad right or is mom right, ask, what does this child need from us today? Because parenting is not a competition between mother and father. It is teamwork. And when discipline and love work together, children do not just grow up. They grow strong, secure, respectful, and ready for life. If this video made you think, drop your opinion in the comments. Who shaped you more, your dad's parenting style or your mom's? Like, subscribe, and share this today.